Hi everyone, good to see you. As you can see, I didn't only coordinate my presentation with the LT, we also coordinated our attire. So hopefully it will be interesting for you. I will also talk about spectrum and some other stuff, and hopefully will provide you some insights of how important is 5G and wireless technology in general is for the US. So 5G remains a key cornerstone for the US economic and technological competitiveness. You heard it from Merdit, from Alan, from everyone. We know that these are CTIA numbers that have been published in 2021, and actually this is happening as we speak since then. The thing is that this is just the beginning. This is a race. The target is moving all the time. The traffic continues to grow. We talked about 40%. In reality, the numbers are even bigger. Some of our customers can tell you what happened when fixed wireless access was launched a few years ago into their traffic. So the digital divide is being solved, and new more use cases are being put on the network. We talked about mobile broadband, fixed wireless access, private networks. Network APIs now are something that everybody is looking into launching, and it's already launched in some places. And a lot of focus on growth in GDP, add jobs, and of course, it is clearly, as Alan mentioned, a matter of national security. As I said, it is a race. If we are looking at 5G Advanced and 6G, these mobile networks will not only provide connectivity and network APIs, we are talking about networks that will be sensing. It will sense things, and it will create a new innovation platform that can be used by application developers and other players in order to generate more to the GDP and innovation. We in Ericsson recognized how important 5G is into the US, and we are all in. So I will talk a little bit about what we are doing, but it is in context to 5G and what we're doing in the US. We opened a factory some years ago in Louisville in Texas, and in reality, the vast majority of the most advanced products that we manufacture are made in USA. We are the only BABA-compliant manufacturer for 5G equipment in the world. Put a $150 million investment. This is a super smart factory. As I said, 50 months in operation with more than 500 employees, and we are also using it as our innovation place. This is the place where we manufacture our run compute that is being sold to our operators and customers in the United States, and where we are actually developing our most advanced mid-band massive MIMO radios, as well as millimeter wave radios. So really cool. You're all invited to come and visit. O-RAN talked about here. All in, we are industrializing it. If in reality, we are the #1 contributor when it comes to the spec of O-RAN, and we're working very closely with our partners in Dell and HP and AMD and Intel when it comes to Cloud RAN, and working very closely with many application developers on developing the RAPS ecosystem. Recently, we have actually launched in the United States Ericsson Federal Technology Group, which is a separate company, US-based company that is designed to work with the Department of Defense in order to provide a dedicated US entity that dual-use Open RAN products and several Department of Defense proof of concept that we are working with them. So let's talk about what happened so far. The US operators actually did fairly well, considering. US was the first one to launch 5G. That happened in April 2016. That said, it was launched with dynamic spectrum sharing, meaning we have used LTE spectrum to do that. For those of you who know, dynamic spectrum sharing and using LTE spectrum does give you the 5G logo, but doesn't give you the 5G experience. Later on, it was launched with millimeter wave that was available in the United States, but only in a later stage. It came with mid-band, where the vast spectrum could provide you the coverage and the user experience of 5G. Still, the US operators are doing very well. As of today, 61% of the subscribers actually have a 5G-capable phone. That is very good. It means that the industry is healthy, and many customers are willing to pay and have an advanced phone. And of course, a couple of years ago, 5G fixed wireless access was launched. People were skeptical about it, but it's apparently a major success with more than 8 million subscribers on it. And if you look at the last year, you would see that more than 95% of the broadband customers at home are actually fixed wireless access customers rather than actually using wireline. Very, very good success. That said, a lot needs to be done. This is a very important slide. And everybody here talked about spectrum, and I will also talk about spectrum. But the big insights of this slide shows you that when we started, this is the C-band. What you see here, over time, the C-band availability in the US against China. What you see here is that, yes, today, if you look at 2024, we are more or less the same. So is that okay? No. This is strategic. What happened here is that China started much earlier, and we, over the time since 2018, catched up until today. As I said, this is strategic. Spectrum availability takes time to make available. As of today, we're equal, but China have already announced, and Meredith touched it, they will release significantly higher number of spectrum in the near future, while here in the US, we're still struggling. We're all in on dynamic spectrum sharing, but that said, it will take time. It will require R&D, hardware might become more expensive, and it's still a moonshot to make it happen. The spectrum that is going to become available with the lower 3 gigahertz and the 7 gigahertz are still to be studied, and our estimation is that at best we are talking 2027. So really important that we focus on it. As we mentioned, this is the engine that actually, the fuel that actually provide all the power to the engine of 5G and beyond. So, we talked about spectrum, but it's not just about spectrum. In order to utilize the spectrum, you need sites. And as you go up in the spectrum, you need even more sites, because as you know, as you go higher in the spectrum, the propagation is a shorter distance. In order for us to be able to support future capabilities and more customers and the traffic growth, more sites needs to be built. If you look today, we all have 5G on our phones, but only 50% of the existing LTE sites of the CSPs in North America are actually having mid-band deployed on them. We are still on the first wave of 5G mid-band, so still a lot of work to be done. But even if we put basically mid-band on all the sites, if you look at the site density, just compare it to Korea, we are talking about factor 17 of site density per 1 million customers. So yes, it's different geography, it's different density, but factor 17. And even if you compare it to dense areas like Manhattan, etc., it's still a major gap. So there's also major need to build the infrastructure that allows you to actually put up this radios that provide all this capacity. So one more message to you guys. If you look today, it takes more than 12 months to get a permit for a new site in an urban area. It's not just expensive, it's also extremely slow. And you don't even know if eventually you're going to get the permit, which means you need to permit in many, many places, and it slows the whole machine down. Existing sites also require permits. In 2024, we forecast that 100,000 permits for existing sites will be required. Think about the administration and the cost and how long time does that take. Just in the United States. Actually, to get a permit for an existing site take between 1 to 9 months. We're talking about an existing tower where you just want to add or do modification. These things takes time. I have worked in many places around the globe. One of the places I was fortunate to work was 6 years in Tokyo in Japan. And in Japan, they applied the shot clock. Basically, the government said if the local municipality is not giving you a permit until a specific time, it's deemed approved. It worked very well. I was there actually when they applied that. Maybe it's something we should talk about. I know it was suggested before. So finally, very simple, 2 key messages. We need to secure spectrum. It is extremely important. It is strategic. It's not something you do very shortly. You actually need to think about it for many, many years in advance. So let's do that, and it needs to be in full power. And it's not enough. You actually need to enable the operators to deploy the infrastructure in a cost-efficient way, get access to sites, to be able to provide the right service for this innovation platform for the future. The good thing is that this thing is possible. Thank you very much.